So, quick overview of the documents that I'm sending for the app trial. This is the app trial activity planner. Starts with some directions. Says please identify at least 3 activities that you're going to use as a context for your comparison of apps. And then for each activity, you're going to complete an activity planner, which is down here. And then make a number of copies of the planners because you're going to do probably one activity and use different apps for that one activity. So you just need multiple copies of the planner documents. Okay, so here you would list, so you would say, well, I'm going to do, watch a YouTube video is going to be one of my activities. And another one is going to be a cooking activity that we're doing. And a third one is going to be reading a book. And you can certainly do more, but this is for an example. And then down here, it's asking what apps are you going to be trialing? So you would put an X next to all of the apps that you're trialing. And then here you would indicate what are the page sets that you're using within the app. So what group of vocabulary. So for instance, Touch Chat, you might be using Word Power 60. Speak for Yourself, there's just one, so I would call it the main one. Lamp for Yourself, you might be doing 84 sequenced, and so on. So just kind of list the page set that you're using. When you get down to the planner, leave the app name and page set blank so until you're actually ready to do a session. Under the activity, maybe you put your reading a book, and then you'll put the date of the actual data collection. And then this is in the speech session with the SLP. So that's what will be conducted. So it says select and list words from a range of functions that could be modeled during this activity. So you want people words and social words and action words and describing words and not just nouns. So you would list those words here. Indicate each button to use to navigate to the target word. So if the word was say book. The first hit might be groups, and the second hit might be reading, and then the third hit would be book, so you don't have to write that. Under partner, when you actually collect data, you're going to put a check mark or a hash mark or something here to indicate that you actually did model the word book when you did this trial, because you may not model all of the words that you generate. If the student happens to use that word independently and spontaneously during your trial session, you can put a mark over here. You don't have to put a mark for each time you use the word, but certainly if you do, that's more information. So list all your words, all of the hits, and then this you fill in when you're actually conducting the activity. Here is a place for writing some notes about the student's response to the app. So were they interested? What was their interaction? Any other information that wasn't captured up top? And then lastly, what's your overall impression? What did you think about the app for this activity? Did you think it was a good match, etc.? So again, you're going to have a set of activities, and then you're going to trade out the apps as you go through the trial and you start to narrow down which ones you're interested in. The other document that I included was, let's see, the baseline endline chart. This may or may not be helpful, but it shows, gathers some information up here about the student's name and what device or app. And then the rating scale is, do you see this observable behavior never or rarely, sometimes or inconsistently or consistently? So for instance, you go down and it says, do they permit the device in their personal space? At the start of the trial, was that rarely or never? Was that inconsistent or sometimes, or was that consistently? And you would use this side of the check marks and answer for each of the behaviors, how the frequency or the rating that you would give the student. And it does get more complex, so it might give you some ideas for some higher level skills to look at during a trial. If you were using a specific app for quite some time, then you could also do an end line comparison of the behaviors that the student showed. But if it's a shorter trial, this may not show any difference. So it's just one other option that I included.